One of the rising stars out of the Golden State. He made a mark for himself in 360 competition at Ocean Speedway last year, and he's hoping to make that same effect in 410 competition this season. He's out of Concord, California. It's Joey Ancona, who's next here on Getting Up to Speed. By Meat Freaks Jerky Club. Get the best jerky the world has to offer straight to your door by visiting meatfreaksjerkyclub.com. Pick your box and plan, tell them where to ship, and receive and enjoy. Log on to meatfreaksjerky.com and use promo code SPEED for 10% discount. The 2023 NARC 410 Sprint Series presented by Napa Auto Parts will officially kick off with the Asparagus Cup on Saturday, April 1st at the Stockton Dirt Track. See drivers such as Corey Day, Justin Sanders, Shane Golobic, Bud Kading, and two-time defending series champion Dominic Scelzi, along with many more. Pit gates open at 1, front gates at 4, qualifying at 4:30, and racing kicks off at 5:30. Tickets are $30 for general admission, children ages 5 through 12, $25, seniors 65 and over, $25, and children 4 and under are free. For more ticket information, log on to StocktonDirtTrack.com. For more series information, visit www.narc410.com. Hello race fans, this is Ben Deatherage, host of Getting Up to Speed. In these interviews, we talk to sprint car drivers from the West Coast or beyond the West Coast that are coming to race, or drivers that are West Coast based that are going elsewhere to race. We hope you enjoy these interviews, and be sure and catch up on all the episodes, whether it be on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, or YouTube. Well, with us from Concord, California, Joey Ancona. Joey, great to have you on here with Getting Up to Speed. It's going to be a delightful interview because you are one of those young guards that are moving up into the sprint car ranks and really kind of making a name for themselves in the last year or so.
Yeah, thank you. It's a pleasure to be on here. Yeah, it's tough. We're trying. We're still young, and it's me and my dad learning most of this stuff. So we're just kind of getting better with every race and learning as much as we can, and just transferring our information over and over.
Last year, talking about your numbers in 2022, had 28 total starts, 12 top 10s, 7 top 5s, and 6 podiums. All the podiums, the top 5s, and the top 10s were results in 360 sprint car competition. You did have a 19th place result at Ocean Speedway in Watsonville with the NARC 410 series, but a lot of 410 racing, especially at Ocean Speedway last year.
Yeah, that one race that we did with the 410, we were running our 360 with them. We were there the night before, so, we decided to stay because we were transitioning over to different tires. So just get more notes and, use it for future races. So this year we will have a 410. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Awesome. That's wonderful to hear. And you mentioned Ocean. You finished 5th in points there last year. 5 podiums, 6 top 5s, 9 top 10s, and 17 starts at that joint. And that just seems to be one of the places that is really a developmental racetrack where there have been so many good drivers in the last 10 years, a little bit more than 10 years, that have came out of there. Yeah,
for sure. I think it was really easy for me to get acclimated there because it was really close to the micro. You didn't have to hold it wide open all the time. You could lift, let the car set a little bit more. And, we just ran there a lot, especially when we were first starting. We had the Kadings help us out a little bit. So we kind of got a base under us and, just made progression there. And then ultimately got a win this year.
And then got a podium at Tulsa's Thunderbolt Raceway with the Kings of Thunder deal. That place can be a tricky joint. It's razor thin margins of error.
Yeah, I love that track. I try to race there as much as possible. It's probably the most technical racetrack in California. I mean, you're so close up to the wall, or you're really slow around the bottom, especially when it gets wide and slick. I love it there. I love being up against the wall. And again, it's also one of the places you're not barreling it in there wide open all the time. It takes some finesse. So it's just I think it's my type of racetrack. I love it.
Yeah, awesome. It's one of my favorite places too, and it's so incredible to see the black stripes literally on the wall from the rubber, or from just not really the rubber, just the tire degradation that happens there, and it's amazing. It's one of those things you got to see it to believe it.
Yeah, for sure. Any of my friends, like from school or just people that I've raced with in the past, if there's any racetrack I want to tell them to come watch, it's going to be Tulare. Just it blows people away just how fast we're going and how close we really are to that wall. But from in the car, it actually slows down a lot, especially when it gets slicker. You kind of use the wall as like or it's basically your cushion, and I don't know, I just feel really comfortable there, and I'm not totally worried about like blowing it over the edge because I know I got something to lean on all the time.
Well, you mentioned briefly earlier, got a 410 now and planning to run some of that. Exactly what does 2023 look like for you guys and your race team?
So yeah, we just got our 410, so we're gonna try to hit probably about 20 KWS shows, just locally in California, and then depending on how we are doing towards the end of the year, we might run with the Outlaws, Gold Cup, and down in Hanford, a couple races. So yeah, I'm excited for it. It's a rider just like our 360s are, and should be pretty fast. I'm really excited.
And then as far as 360 racing, any concrete plans there of what you're going to be doing as far as where you're going to be running?
Not 100%. We're going to try to hit all, like if there's a 360 one night and then a 410 the next night, at the same track, we'll definitely try to do all of that. But, yeah, just fill in our 360 races here and there. Obviously Trophy Cup is the biggest race of the year, especially for us. But, yeah, just try to fill in. Try to keep me in the seat every weekend or as often as we can. So, yeah, it'll be good to keep the 360 around just for the seat time. And, we're still learning. So, everything that we learned, the 360 will transfer over to the 410 as well.
Is there any particular track that the NARC 410 series is going to that you haven't been to, or maybe you have, but you're anxious to get another second take at it, a second stab?
I think we're just gonna stay local. So I think I've been to every track that I would run, but I'm really excited to get back to Watsonville. We've ran there with the 360, and we've had speed. I felt good. It's just even against the 410s, I don't have the power that they did, and I was still able to keep up with a lot of them, especially when it got split. So popping a 410 under the hood, I'm really excited for that. Just we'll actually be on the same power basis, and maybe have a shot to be up front.
Yeah, that's one racetrack that I'm really looking forward to because I've watched a lot of video on it throughout the years on broadcasts, and it kind of sort of reminds me of some of the racetracks that I've kind of grown up going to, a little bit like Wairika to a certain extent, and even reminiscent of Cottage Grove. Merced reminds me a lot of Cottage Grove, and so does Ocean in a little bit of a way.
Yeah, for sure. They're really similar. They're all pretty small, but it just really depends on how Watsonville is that night. It changes a lot through the year, actually. Like at the beginning of the season, you'll notice it's pretty flat all the way up. And then maybe halfway through the season and towards the end, somehow the top of the track, like just the top groove where you'd run like right around the cushion, banks up a little bit, and it gets a lot faster up there. So, yeah, it's different, and you really never know what you're going to get pulling up to the racetrack. And I think that's a challenge for everybody, just because you're going to have to change your driving style based on what it is.
Well, I'm sure there's a bit of excitement for the one race that NARC goes to at Antioch. Makes it a little bit of a home game for you guys. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, my shop is 10 minutes from Antioch. We don't really even have to get on the freeway to get there. So, I'm glad it's starting to make a comeback. We've been in talks with the promoters a lot, and they want to get sprint cars back, and having SCCT and KWS back, I think, is a really good step, as their ultimate goal is to get the Outlaws to come back eventually. So that'll be really cool too, if that can happen.
Yeah, no, I think that's the first time I met you guys was in 20 when I was spitting in a lot of time down there, and they had one race where they had a lot of. It was the weekend after Memorial Day weekend, and they had a lot of guys there. It was a really good show too.
Yeah, we had a couple in 2020 that we had probably 16, 17 cars there. Mm-hmm. I know Justin Sanders was there, Keith Bay, Caleb Montgomery. I think TK was even there. So there were some big names there too, and it was cool to see a bunch of guys show up to such a small track. And, we put on a show the best we could with the track. Yeah, I mean, it was a fun night, and I hope we can get some local 360 races there.
Yeah, and for people that aren't exactly sure what we're talking about here, so Antioch Speedway in the East Bay area, Concord, where Joey's from, is to the west of that. You kind of come into that taking the Benicia Bridge over from Vacaville and Sassoon City, that area. But it's a beautiful area and it's a wonderful part. And for you going micro sprint racing, that was logging a lot of miles, yeah.
Yeah, we started out in Delta and Stockton, and we just kind of felt like the competition was a little bit better down south. So we were towing down to Visalia and Lemoore pretty much every single weekend during the summer. And so that was a lot, but I really liked it down there. I made some really good friends, and it was really nice that we did race down there because getting into sprint cars, I was still 14 when I started, and the rule was you had to be 16. But Bobby, who owned the track, Hanford and Plaza at the same time, he kind of got together with some other promoters, and I really showed him some clips and was like, hey, this kid, he's good enough. He's not out of control. He's 14 and, beating adults and outlaw. And he was the one that really allowed me to get my feet wet in the sprint car for the first time, in a 360 at least, at Hanford. So, yeah, I'm really glad we made the decision we did.
And that's quickly becoming one of my favorite tracks is Hanford, just how wide it races and how really good it can race when it's on.
Yeah, when Hanford's good, it's good. We started up front there this year, and just kind of backed it up. But we've never really had a bunch of speed, so the start up front was nice. I really want to get back there, see what we can do again. I feel like just a couple more adjustments, and we would have been a lot better in that feature. But that's racing, so yeah, just maybe a couple tries this year, 360 and 410. Hopefully, we'll be up front, maybe get a podium.
Well, I guess. Did you ever by chance make it to Dixon back in the day when you were running? I guess that would have kind of been the closest racetrack for you going in micros.
Yeah, we hit Dixon. I mean, whenever we could, when there was no other races. I really liked the track. It wasn't the best facility. There's not a ton of money behind it, but the track raced phenomenally to me. And when we had Speed Week races there, I felt like it was one of the best tracks to race on. It was really wide, really slick. Sometimes you could just roll right through the middle. It was so wide, and I thought it was great. But a lot of people just didn't like the facility around it. So yeah, I mean, it kind of gets a bad rap for that. But the racetrack is really good.
Well, outside of racing, when you're not working on race cars or making racing plans, what do you find yourself doing?
Luckily, I'm still in school. I'm a high schooler still, so I'm in my senior year. So that takes up a lot of my time, most of my days. And then other than that, nothing much. I'm always focused on racing. I play a decent amount of video games, but it's all with my racing buddies. We play a lot of iRacing, a lot of simulators, and yeah, just keep my reaction time sharp and stuff like that. Hand-eye coordination, and yeah, I mean, that's basically all I do.
Oh, I was going to say, and forgive me if I'm wrong, it's the wrong city, but one of the most things that stand out for me when I'm going to Antioch is the drive-in movie theater. That's in Concord, right? Or is it in Martinez?
There is one in Concord, yeah, right off the freeway. You can kind of see it as you're driving in.
Yeah, right off the 4. I remember watching.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a gem. It is right there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really something you don't see too often anymore, and it's nice to have one so close. It's something to do on a nice summer night when it's warm. It's definitely better than sitting in a movie theater, just going with some friends. I have a truck, so just lay it out in the back of the truck and watch a movie.
Yeah, no doubt. One of these days I'm going to partake in it. But the problem is I'm down there for a race. I'm there at night. Yeah. And generally after I'm done with Antioch, I kind of hightail it to wherever my next destination is.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't know if you'd want to hang out in Antioch for too long after the races, but yeah, for sure. Yeah, we'll be driving by and, we're always looking out the windows trying to figure out what movie's on from, the 30-second clip that we can see. But, yeah, it's really cool. It's really something you don't see much.
It's like beat the original beat Shazam or something.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, so close to the Bay Area. So no going and watching Bay Area sports, Golden State basketball, Giants baseball, nothing like that, eh?
Every once in a while, I'm a really big Warriors fan, so I mean, I watch all that on TV.
Sure.
Huge Raiders fan, but
Okay.
they're in Vegas now, so that's a little bit harder to get to. I really do want to go see them in Vegas with their new stadium. It's really state of the art. It's kind of insane. But yeah, we used to go to a decent amount of Raiders games. I went to Oakland when Supercross came in.
Okay.
PBR, professional bull riding. So yeah, when stuff comes to town, definitely take the opportunity and go see it.
Nice, nice. I've only been through it once, and it ended up being we ended up, where was it? Alameda. It was on the east shore of the bay, and it was beautiful with all the pelicans going around. My kids
Yeah,
were building sand castles.
yeah.
For when your schedule comes out, or if it has came out already, or team news or any sort of information updates, what's the best way for people to track that down or look at it online?
Definitely on Facebook, probably, or Instagram. I have a racing page. It's really just Joey Ancona Racing. That's updated with most of my results, where I'm running the next weekend, and just stuff like that to be able to keep up on my racing.
Awesome. And do you do online sales for apparel?
I do not. I mean, you can message on Messenger. Message the race page or Instagram. I think it's the same handle.
Sure.
So yeah, I mean, if you just message us, we'll get back to you and ship it out. Or if you're at a local race, we can bring it to the racetrack. We'll have all our merch at the racetrack too. So yeah, stop by and grab one at the trailer.
And as far as sponsors or individual people that you want to thank for making 2023 possible, anybody in particular?
I mean, really, my mom and my dad. We have some sponsors on board: Dryco Construction, Belrose Powder Coating, Factory Cane Shocks, Ryder Racing Engines, Swindell Speed Lab for sure. Victory Fuel, it's a great new drink. Everybody, if you haven't tried it, go pick it up from the Swindells. You can order it online. And yeah, North County Plastering. That's it.
Awesome. Well, I'm really looking forward to seeing you a bunch with NARC, it sounds like, and hoping to catch the Friday night before the Howard Kading Classic at Ocean this year. And if you'll be running 360, definitely be checking
Yeah,
out there.
yeah, we will be. We've ran pretty good in the past there. 2 years ago, started outside pole, took the lead, but got my start called back. Ended up third that night, and then started fourth last year, sorry, and yeah, just blew it over the edge. Just kind of ruined my chances of doing anything. But yeah, we'll be there again for sure. That's a really, really prestigious race, especially with Howard and Brent and all them. They're really good guys. They helped me really get into sprint cars. So that's one I want to win for sure.
That's awesome. Well, it's been a pleasure talking to you, Joey, and I wish you the best of luck for 2023.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me on.
Hey guys, thanks for listening to this latest episode of Getting Up to Speed with me, Ben Dethridge. We hope you enjoyed this program. We hope also that you hit the subscribe button and the like button, as that really helps things out, spreads things out. Be sure and share as well on social media so that more people can listen to these great interviews and from these great drivers. Getting Up to Speed is a production of Highside Racing Promotions. For more information, you can check it all out on Facebook at Highside Promotions.